it's like she said, I said, man, this is racing deal. We all do the same.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. Welcome to Mid America Dirt. I'm Skip, and I am super excited to be joined by Eddie Martin. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, Skip. I didn't see you come through the drive-through today. Kansas Smoke Shop. Let me get that plug in right off the bat. I was expecting to see you come through, buy a couple cartons.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Uh, it's just y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna tell people this story. I just happened to run into Eddie, and he saw that I was wearing a racing t-shirt, and we got to talking, and I didn't have an idea who I was talking to because people out there watching, they know that I've been away from it for a long time, so I had no idea who I was talking to, and I'm super excited that you're coming on here and doing this podcast with me and telling me some stories, and I know you got some good ones.
Yes,
I know
yeah.
you got some good ones.
I probably got some I can't tell, but they're really good ones. There's probably drivers' wives that would get mad if they watch this. But yeah, let me start, Skip, with a story that is my current status that I know
Okay.
I've been messaged and stuff, and just sorry about that. So my current status was we was our modified last fall. We jumped frame, had a couple motor issues. So that's in a rebuilding program. My car owner with that, it's expensive, so he's just piecing along. So we got a motor that should be coming in pretty quick. We just don't have the car. We're hoping to be able to have everything together for the spooker, tri-state spooker. Um, but so I was gearing up. I'd actually got a shipment of tires in for the late model with one of my sponsors, and so we was gearing up to go late model racing. You mentioned a while ago about the revival series, and was going to do some of that and some of the sooner,
Oh, cool.
just what was close. But early April, we found out my wife had diagnosed with breast cancer. Totally did not say anything because it didn't want no feeling sorry for it or any of that.
Yeah.
So a week ago or 2 weeks ago today, she had surgery, and racing to me was just like not important. We got the shop. My bonus daughter is a super good athlete. We may be watching her on TV one day.
Cool.
So we don't. Nobody's life is going to get disrupted. There's always another race, right? Like I can always
Yeah.
go. So I'm actually that's why I've been on a hiatus this year, and I've had a lot of people ask me, and I was kind of telling them, well, we just got a lot of things going on, but I'm leaving Wednesday to go run a 5,000 win deal down in Edna, Texas, for a guy that raced a little bit for. So, and I wasn't going to do it. And Beth is like, "Hey, you go race. You
Oh,
go race."
yeah,
So
that's cool.
uh, she says to go. Well, I'm going to go because I always think at this point in time in life, she loves it more than I do. So that's where I've
That's
been
cool.
yes, yeah. She pushed me. The stuff that we did last year, uh, man, when I didn't want to go, she was right. Well, you need to get these points, So
That's
um,
awesome. That's awesome.
it been great support. I've never had that before, and we've been together. Oh, well, our anniversary was yesterday, so we've been married 6 years, been together 7. So you can't. That's great support. So
Oh yeah.
that was where I'm at on my current status. Now I'm going to take you to the beginning,
Do
and
it.
then
Let's hear it.
this is where you can jump in because I tell this story a lot. My dad started racing in 1964 at Crawford County Speedway down in
Okay.
Cedarville, Arkansas. I was born in '66, so I tell people, mom and dad chuckle when I tell it, but I'm like, I think I was conceived at Crawford County Speedway. Damn sure though, I cut my teeth on turn 4 wall there. So that
I'm
that
hoping I'm hoping to get down there soon. I'd like to see that. I've never been there. I'd
it,
like to get down there and see it.
it's my home track. Great people, love them, and yeah, the Watsons. They're really good people. I raced there um, several times last year, and I just enjoy going down there. It doesn't matter what it pays, or it's just being there. Still have a lot of fans there, so it
I
it's
hear you.
it's good. It's good. I mean, I like I don't like going into stress situations. Even though I like this weekend for 5,000 win. Obviously going to be a little stressed, but I've been in that situation
What
a lot.
class are you running?
It's a limited sport mod,
Okay.
Southern limited sport mod. It's not like the B
Okay.
mods and stuff. It's a different deal. And I told you that we used to build cars, and that was the last thing that we built. My dad, when he decided that he wanted to quit, we had built the hundredth and one car of those. So we,
Golly.
yeah, national championships with them through drivers, and nonetheless all the races and championships that other guys won. So
Okay.
that
You're talking about other drivers. Let me ask you this real quick before I start about it. Christy Barnett told me to ask you to tell the story.
are you Christy? Christy brings this up.
She asked me, and I usually don't give out any hints about who's coming on here, but Christy Barnett asked me to tell. She goes, ask Eddie the story. So
Uh,
I've got to ask you the story. I don't know what it is,
oh,
but
I'm on a message her here in a little bit. We're at Casa Grande, Arizona, 10,000 win mod deal, and we've been cleaning them up. I was driving for Chubb Daniels, and he owned D&M, and then which SRP and Alan Sharp's team. We're on the front row, 10,000 win. Chrissy's on the front with us. I'm thinking this $10,000 check is cash, and she's the one. Chrissy's the one that cashed it. But her and her Sherman, really good friends. But she knows that race still stings me to this day. And I hate to say it, but dadgummit, that was the first and only time I ever got outrun by a female.
yeah.
she she drove. She drove a good race, and I just seen. I think it was last week or something. She had a picture on Facebook of being in the winner's circle, and good friends. I mean, I still root for her. I just didn't root for her that day.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, but she said y'all, like I told you, I got Ladies Week coming up next week, and I've been a fan of hers, and I wanted to see if she'd come on there, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't know, like you, I didn't know who I was talking to because I've been away from it for so long, but
Yeah.
man, and I talked to her, and she's like, and I told her you were coming on tonight. She's going, well, ask him the story. Ask him
Yeah.
to tell you the story.
Well, she'd already won a bunch of money at the casino the night before, and I don't know why she needed to pick on me on that $10,000. But yeah, that was kind of one of those deals. I got one of my really good friend, probably my best friends racing. He just lived right up the road from us, so I'd sold him like some of my cars, and personal cars. And we was talking last week. We went to a funeral and we rode around a little bit, just kicking stories. And there's one that he always likes to tell. And I don't know if you've heard of Mark Nobles, but anybody that was through modified racing, Mark he was one of the great ones. So Tim brought this story up, and I said, you know what? I said, let's just call Mark. So anyway, got a hold of Mark. And so I like to talk to guys. And I said, Mark, you remember that race at Salina High Banks? I led this thing 39 out of 40 laps coming off turn two. And I'm pretty sure Mark hit me in the left rear. Uh, he says I didn't. And my buddy Tim Weaver, says I didn't. He says I turned left to block Mark, which might have been possible. Gave that outside lane to him. He flies by us both and wins the deal. Yeah, me and Den's really good friends. Like we went all over he's went all over the country with me. And
Yeah.
I'll walk up to him and I told him, I said, I'll be happy about you tomorrow. But right now, I don't even want to drink a beer with you. Go back to my head. It's kind of like a Christy Barnett deal. Like, I'll be happy for you, but right now, yeah, I'm kind of stinging.
Uh, yeah, I
That,
hear
that,
you, man. That's
yeah.
funny.
But
Oh,
I'm a big fan of her. Like, yeah.
yeah, I am too. I'm happy she's coming on with that week,
Mhm.
especially because
She ought
it's
to
a
have
big
some
deal.
really good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, she's
Let
stretched
me
my,
ask. Yeah, I know. I saw that. I
yeah,
had no idea, and apparently
yeah,
really good at it.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I know you told me this story, and I'm going to put this picture up there. You sent me a picture of a modified that had a fire underneath it.
Oh, it's late model.
Oh, is it a late model?
Yeah.
Lord, Eddie, I'm blind as a bat. You're right, it is. Sorry,
Yeah.
but tell me the story on that.
Well, you know, you gotta have money. I mean, I can tell you just about weekend after weekend. I never was a statistician to keep counts of how many features I won. I was more. It was more important to me that to clear the checks that I wrote. Started on Friday, and by Monday I had enough winnings to clear my checks and keep going.
Yeah.
So, and this is my wife Beth. This was her first weekend trip, and we go to Flippin, Arkansas, and we win Friday night, and then we're going to Batesville Saturday for what was called the Southern Outlaw Series, uh, and I mean I had won about every race at Batesville with the late model. Going out there, running through there, didn't run good in the heat, and I got a little hole right there in the cockpit, and I see a flame. And I'm like, oh no. So I'm kind of pedaling and lifting, and I'm up to second by this point, and behind the leader, and I just kind of keep an eye on it, and I'm thinking, man, as soon as that flame turns blue, it is time to bail out. So my crew guy up there, Beth was freaking out. She's like, "Oh my, he's on fire! Does he know he's on fire?" And he just looks at her and said, "Oh, that's just Eddie being Eddie." You know, come down to come down to coming off turn four to the checkered flag, and that thing finally smokes the whole right bank. It starts missing coming down the back straightaway. By the time I come off turn four, I was only running on the left bank, four cylinders, and I dropped back to third. I pull in the infield. The infield were you've been to Batesville.
Yes,
We
sir. Many
run
times.
that back straightaway and the scales, and I'm motors off, and I'm sitting there. I'm on fire. And no, and the guys, they're not the track workers. They're not even paying attention. And I'm like, get my helmet off and get out of the car. And I'm like, hey, can you go put that out? Like, hey guys. But yeah, yeah.
Oh
Hey,
man.
there's no quit. There's no quit.
Yeah,
Like
I hear you,
you.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah, used to when I signed autographs, it'd be a long one. It'd be Eddie Martin, when in doubt, never lift. 51. And I shortened that down to just never lift.
Okay.
Because yeah,
I hear you. You sent me some picture. It looks like, what have you not drove? What kind of
uh,
race car have you not drove?
um, sprint cars, and
Like
I
a straight up wing sprint?
winged and I had an opportunity last year, 2 years ago, to drive a non-wing 305. And one of my buddies, he's like, do not do it. He said, those are the ones that'll break your neck, break your back. Don't do it. He said, if you're gonna drive something, drive a wing on it. And I was kind of like, at that point in time, I'm like, man, no, I'm old enough. I'm probably okay with what I'm doing. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I drove, ran the midgets and stuff. And there's one picture of one of them little old things we ran at the Tulsa shootout thing. I could barely crawl into.
Ah, yeah. I know
Yeah,
what
that
those
feels pretty good.
what
Mini
are
sprint.
the like micros or whatever?
Yeah, mini sprints. Yeah, they're
Mini
they're
sprints?
small.
Yeah, I mean, I can't I tried getting in just a late model at over at Thunderbird last
Yeah,
weekend, and it was not easy to get in and out of that thing.
no,
I mean, for
no.
people that don't know, it is not easy to crawl in and out of those cars if you don't know what you're doing or you've never done it
Yeah,
before.
you
I mean,
need a
it's
step stool. Yeah,
yeah, and I mean, you're tight in there. You're packed tight in that thing.
yeah. They
They said they told me that when that gets going, because I couldn't see over the hood. I said, man, I don't see how you guys do it. They said when you get going, your rear end lifts up and you can see better. Is that
you can
right?
see off the right front, but if somebody's to your left in your door, you can't see them because you're so reared up, and so then by then you're just driving off field. You know,
Golly.
like kind of leans
So
again.
go ahead.
But yeah, my midget when we run the midget, um, really really it got to doing good with them, and uh, my car owner, because I think I made it to the C feature one year at the Chili Bowl, uh, and I
That's
watched.
that's an accomplishment, isn't it? I mean, that's a pretty
Oh
good
yeah,
accomplishment right
yeah.
there.
Like one night in a series deal at Sylum that we was running, uh, I made a clean sweep in the midget and modified that night. So that was a really
Wow.
special night. But the guy that owned the cars that really got to be really good friends, and he got killed up at Knoxville, and I boy I just got so turned off on those cars like, and then I think one picture I sent you, the white one, was Kip Hughes's car, and I mean this is after years, and we tried it one year, but I just it's even hard
Now,
for me to watch him on TV.
Kip Hughes, he drives late model this year, right? Is he a promoter? He's a promoter out there at what, at
And
Indy or somewhere?
yeah,
That's what I thought.
yeah, I met him way back when he first started racing, and he's a really good friend. He comes over, him and a group of them, whenever they're coming through, and they've stayed at the house, and we'll hit the lake on Saturday morning, and then they go race Saturday night.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, no,
That's
Kip
awesome.
all that much. They're really good guys. We took
Uh,
him last
go
last
ahead.
summer. I'll tell you a story about Kip. We took him out. So I took him straight to a bluff, and I'm like, guys, you can imagine how the daring was going. Well, Kit goes off higher than anybody else, and he gets in. He's like, "Oh, my ass hurts." About 2 weeks later, I'm talking to him, and he broke his tailbone when he hit the wall.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh man.
yeah.
Golly. Where are y'all
He,
going to the lake at over here?
we live right here on Lake Tenkiller. Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
where we're sitting right now, the dam is right below us. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, that's cool. That's
yeah.
cool. So, Crawford County, that's your home track. What is it your favorite track to run on? What's your favorite track if anywhere in the country that you've run on? What's your favorite track?
Well, you know, I can't. Crawford is right there at the top. Batesville, and Tri-State Speedway.
Okay.
I mean, I got two of my favorites is right here. Just down the road. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma's absolutely loaded up with racetracks. I
well,
mean,
I used to tell people like at one point in time. Now some tracks have closed, but uh, there was 8 tracks that I could go to that was within 2 hours worth of driving range. At one time, I
yeah,
haven't counted them up now. Let's see, you got Tulsa, Spalpa, there,
yeah. There's
uh,
like what, four around Tulsa?
five, five that
Yeah,
runs weekly. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
because you got
And
Route
I mean,
66. Yeah,
this is racing country over here.
yes, yeah.
Southwest Missouri. There's a couple in Arkansas, and then Oklahoma's just, I mean,
Yeah.
loaded with
Our,
racetracks. It's
our
awesome.
our area right here is loaded. you know.
Yeah.
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 And then I'd like
So,
to,
go ahead.
I like to run out to Enid, you know, and run there. It's always been one of my favorites too.
Yeah. So, what, I know you've had some. So what's been your worst wreck? I know fans like to hear about stuff like that. What's been your worst wreck? You know that didn't mess you. I mean, do you have one? Do you have a wreck that stands out in your mind that was pretty bad?
Well, probably physically, my worst wreck was when I was 22 and I wrecked a motorcycle, and that I got life flighted out, and that's so my shoulder and stuff
Ooh,
really handicapped on my left side because it's screwed together and bolted down. And that's my worst. My worst race car wreck was there was two 5,000 wins. This was in the fall, and the first weekend was at Manzanita Speedway, and the second weekend was at Canyon. There, just outside of Phoenix. And the story I was telling about my buddy Tim Weaver, you know, the story passes on the outside. I called him up and I said, "Hey Tim," I said, "I don't have anybody go with me." I said, "I got a $300 credit card." I said, "I've got the fuel to get us out there." I said, "We'll win enough to stay 2 weeks." We go. It was raining, and I figured they was going to cancel the race, but it'd been raining there, and they didn't cancel the race. So we run to Manzanita, unload, miss hot laps, start on back of the heat, miss a draw. I take the lead in the heat race, and then run down in turn one and bounce in a hole and barrel road. Manzanita was a half mile and had a
oh
quarter mile,
man.
and we was on the quarter mile. And I barrel rolled that thing all the way down and hit a Ute tire going in turn one on the half mile. Pretty sure it knocked me out for a little bit. I just remember crawling out, and Tim was just standing there like, and he said, "Oh my God, I thought you was dead." And that one,
Golly.
yeah, that one hurt a lot. And then I got busted up pretty good at Batesville in a super stock 5,000 win deal in hot laps. The track
In
was just
hot laps?
yeah, track was tacky, and I was real bad, Skip, back then. I don't do it anymore. About in hot laps, I'd leave my shoulder belts loose, you know, because my left shoulder and stuff just is more comfortable.
Hmm.
And it was a deal. Never you just didn't have to lift. And I turned it into turn three wide open, and it broke a right rear trailing arm. And I don't even know if I even lifted before it hit the wall. That that one that busted me
Golly.
pretty good. I never went to the hospital, but I rode. My buddy that was with me, he drove, and I rode in the back seat of the truck and just laid down till he got me home. And it, you know, broke ribs, dislocated ribs, can cut. I mean, that one,
Golly.
yeah, that one didn't feel too good.
Jeez
You know,
Louise.
I had with Chad, and I've lost five friends through racing. Uh, Seen two good friends, met have backed out, and one of them twice, two different times. And
Golly.
like me and Tim was talking the other day, I'm like, we counted 8 crew guys that helped both of us through the years that have passed, and I'm like, dude, Tim got in a pretty good wreck up in Memphis, Missouri. And I'm like, man, we go out there and try to kill ourselves because if you're going to be good, if you're going to win, you just got to push that limit because you got guys that spend the money, and they're the ones that I say is kind of running around the bottom, you know, just yeah,
Taking
and
it, yeah, make
yeah, and we're up
tearing
here
stuff
on the
up.
top, bouncing off the wall, you know, and kind of putting on the show, but um, you have to make the check, and plus, I just I just love that adrenaline rush. You know, I'm just kind of stupid that way, but I'm like, man, why are we still alive now? You know, I mean,
Oh yeah.
we got at this point in time, Skip, through I started the USMTS, which is USMS back when it originally started, and through all the years of that progression, there's only, and I know of only one other driver right now that through my years that is still racing, and that is Kelly Shyrock.
Okay.
Everybody else is,
Wow.
yeah. So I took last year at the USMTS deal. Todd and Janet awarded me the plaque of the old timers award.
I'll put that on the screen for people to see it.
Yeah, yeah. But that's you meet people through the years, and you I don't care if we used to kick around in the dirt and cuss and try to take each other out on the racetrack. Now we're all mature and like, hey, do you remember back then? You know, so
Yeah, well, that's I think a lot of people, they're fans that don't know. I mean, that kind of interests them. How big or how bad the competition was, or how what's the word I'm looking for? How intense the competition was.
yeah,
Between y'all, and do y'all still talk to each other? And obviously, you guys do.
yeah.
Were there people that you had rivals with that
Oh yeah.
you don't talk to? No names, but I mean, do you have people that you were so competitive with that you just never had anything to do with them hardly?
No, I cannot think of anybody that now that I hold any animosity to, because sometimes you see them and like, it you just kind of get mature and
Yeah,
the thing about it was, Skid, oh, the day hasn't changed. Uh, I'd always say, for one, an A features one in the shop through preparation. But the second thing, it's one through qualifying. So our heat races and qualifying, that's more intense than feature time. Because if you position yourself like on the front row and stuff, uh, my arrogance, my confidence obviously didn't work out with Christy. But I'm thinking, all right, well, shoot, we're going to win. But yeah, Christy kind of knocked that one in the head. Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I let me ask you this question: what did you start out racing? Like when you started, how did you progress in your race career? I mean, how did it start out?
Well, there's a story there in itself, and I hope my mom and dad don't ever watch this. I I would ride. I had a little motorcycle when I was 14 in Oklahoma. You get your motorcycle license, and that's all I cared about. When I turned 16, and Crawford wouldn't let you race until you had a driver's license. Well, I did driver's ed in the summertime. That's the only time I ever drove a car. I was on a motorcycle. So when I started out and I say I cut my teeth on turn full wall, that's exactly what happened. And my dad wound up firing me after about 4 races. So he's like, boy, you need to settle down a little bit and figure this out. So I took that advice. Dad had an old Ford Courier pickup, probably top, it run 70 mile an hour. So that
Yeah,
winter, and this is where I hope that, because my mom, I'm still scared to death of her. Um, I would skip school, last hour of school, and I'd take that thing out on back roads, and man, I'd have her in second gear, and that's how I learned to get the
that's
back
awesome.
end around me. So the next year, it progressed. I didn't win an eighth feature that year, but the next year, that man, we just started cleaning them up. I mean, just
What were you running?
uh, basically like a super stock. I forget what they called them,
Okay.
Grand National. They were a pretty wide open car though. You had to have a stock front clip, but you could fabricate everything from there back, and you had to have a stock body on it, and your motors was pretty, open too. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I went
How
from
long
there.
did you go ahead?
I did that for 3 years. When I turned 18, Thunderbird had a late model deal, and we took the car, and Dad did, and put the quick change rear end in it. It was still a stock stub front car, but then I was running a late model at Thunderbird, and then I think we took it to Thunder Valley, Fayetteville a couple times, and so
Fayetteville,
and
Arkansas.
yeah, that was a
They
really
had a
good trip.
racetrack.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah. It was a really good track. Yeah,
Wow.
for
I did
years.
not know that.
That back then it's called Razorback Speedway. Yeah.
Well, how cool would it be to have a Razorback Speedway now?
Well,
That'd be awesome.
we wish it was still open. And then
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
from there we wound up going back into the like the super stock stuff for a couple of years. When I had my motorcycle wreck, we was winning everything. Matter of fact, my dad made me dump a race one night at Sylum because we was getting so much heat. And I mean, we was legal, but we was getting a lot of heat. And he told me, he said, "You need to lose this race tonight." And I'm like,
Wow.
so I ran second, and then after that, he gave me the green light, like, you know. But and then when I got hurt, um, I think it was more for maybe my moral support, you know, to kind of keep me going because I was busted up pretty bad on that motorcycle. So Dad built the first modified, and because he thought it would be easier for me to drive and stuff. So we went to our play days and stuff, and he drive it and I drive it. Things weren't going good. So the first weekend we went to Thunderbird, and I got lapped by Gary Andrews, Tommy Fulton. We go to Siloam. Now, and this is where Siloam. I go from winning everything. The year
Okay, so
before.
for people who don't know, though, there was a track at West Siloam, right, before Arrowhead?
Yes. Uh-huh. It's
Okay.
the same track or same place.
Okay.
But now Airhead, they totally redone it. It don't look nothing like it did when it was West Siloam Speedway. We'll get rolling there. Same two drivers lap me, and which that's humiliating, in its own. So my dad and the crew, they're standing there, kind of huddled up around the truck, and and I just walked up. I said, "Look," I said, "just give me one more week, try to figure this out." And I said, "If I can't, I'll I'll quit." Because definitely my mom didn't want me in the car. Um, we went to Thunderbird that next week, and I ran third behind Tommy and Gary. Went to Siloam Saturday night and won. So went from the
Wow.
week before to getting lapped. But yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
what?
that involved, I
What?
was
So
going
what
to
did you
school at
do?
Northeast.
What did you do?
I was going to school. I was going to school at Northeastern, and what would happen with my left arm, could get to a certain, and I would lose the nerves, and it would fall off the steering wheel. And I learned then that if you're right hand dominant, you do more driving with your left hand. It just, and I asked other drivers that, and they're the same way. If you're left hand dominant,
Really?
you do with your right. So um, that week, the whole time I drove back and forth to school or drove around, I drove with my left hand and kept my right hand right there at my thigh until it would get to a point it'd fall off. And so there's a lot of, I tell this when I was racing then, uh, and my left hand would fall off, I would reach up with my left leg and grab the steering wheel and take my right hand off and grab my hand and put it back on the steering wheel. I could be in traffic doing
Golly.
that. But then
Golly.
that winter they did the surgery, put the plate in, and I've got limited movement, but at least my arm don't fall off steering wheel anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
but I mean there was a lot of those in the early years, but so we went from there, uh, got out of school, was working. My dad was a service manager at Ford, and I was working, and I don't know. I got to a point where I realized, hey, I'm making more money racing than I am doing that, and I don't have to get up early in the morning and work all day. So then we started hitting the road and going, and
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah,
I
I had
mean,
it.
golly, I mean, I know how much it since I've been doing this. I know how much it costs to race, and I know it's pretty hard. You got to be pretty daggum good to make
Yeah.
money racing.
Yeah, I had eventually kind of through the years or through in my young life, and you got the picture. It's a red $41 car, but I was racing for David Dollar, and he started a truck team, and I didn't know what NASCAR paid. Really didn't pay that much attention to it, and I just wasn't interested. Still not interested in doing any pavement stuff. I think it'd be cool to maybe run it once or twice just to see, but
Yeah.
um, so there was a deal. I probably might could have evolved into NASCAR, but I tell my wife, or I'm like, I don't know if I could have passed a NASCAR physical with my left side, and if I would have, I probably wouldn't have survived a wreck with the way that I'm screwed together and stuff through there. Because I mean, some of them look like they go down in my heart. So probably a good thing I
Golly.
stayed on dirt. So yeah,
Yeah.
but
Uh, now you asked me to ask you about this picture.
oh, we're on the NASCAR deal. Yes, the
Yeah.
yellow '96.
Yep. The yellow
Yeah.
'96 one. Tell me that story.
So we was building cars, and we go down. Our end race would be at McAllen, Texas. It was always the first weekend of December. We'd get 2 months off. We'd be back going west, right? I mean, that was just the way it was. We'd go to Florida. So, guy by the name of Haley Rayburn hit me up. Still, still talk to him 3, 4 times a week. Um, but his son, the '96, Justin Rayburn. Anyway, I sold him a car. Justin Rayburn, I was so devastated when he quit racing because he was really good and smooth. But he went out to North Carolina and started sweeping floors at Hendrick. Wound up working his way up to being the shop manager, shop foreman of Jeff Gordon's R&D team. Now this is where my wife,
Wow.
because she big Jeff Gordon fan. That's where we've got a family split there. But and I was trying to tell
I
her,
bet.
she'd be like, well, Jeff Gordon gave up his whole team to start Jimmy Johnson's, and I'm like, no, that's not the way that deal worked. And she wouldn't believe me until finally I called Justin. I said, Justin, explain to her how this deal happened. So that R&D team, that is the group that became Jimmy Johnson. Gordon didn't give up
Okay.
his crew and stuff. They just took that R&D team. So Justin went from there to you'd see him up there on the pit box sitting with Chad Canals and them for I don't know how many years he done that until he got burned out on the road. But yeah,
Wow.
that was really cool. Yeah, I've
I
got an
didn't know
argument.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't. I had no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. That's how that evolution of Jimmy
And
Johnson's.
that was a winning team.
Well, that illegal car that NASCAR told Ray Evernham to never bring back to the track, that come out of that R&D shop. I think what was that the All Star race or something that Gordon just annihilated everybody, and NASCAR told him, "Don't you ever bring that car back." It come out of that R&D shop. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Justin was a part of that. Yeah, that's yeah.
Golly.
Matter of fact, Haley sent me a picture. He was with Justin and Hunter, the brother, this weekend. So I mean,
Huh.
still good,
I'll be
still
daggone.
good to talk
And
to.
since I've been doing this, I'm sorry, I figured out how connected everything is. Like how connected the racing community is.
Yeah,
Everybody knows each other. I mean, it's just really neat to see. Um,
I had a customer come through today, and just like whenever you come through, wasn't anybody behind, so you just kind of can shoot the bull a little bit. And he's up from, he was talking about moving down from Minnesota. And I was like, hey, well, what part of Minnesota are you from? And he said, I said, because I've raced up there, Owatonna. And he said, that's where I'm from. And so then we get to, chit chatting about different places up in Minnesota and you know, you just like, wow, it's you know, it's a small world. You get to kind of shooting the bull with people and stuff, and and then
Yeah,
there's
it really is. I mean, like, just really met you out of the blue, and then these people that I'm trying to talk to that I don't know that until they told me. They
yeah,
said, ask him this. I'm like, okay. So
yeah,
it's neat to see. I mean, it really is, and for a fan like me, that it's really interesting just how connected everything is like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Uh, so let me ask you this question. I've told you this before. Have you raced Moyer? Have
I'll
you
tell you
raced
a
him
story
before?
about Warrior. I
Let's hear
yeah,
it. I want to hear it.
yeah. You know, I told you that when I was a kid and Moyer and them, and I'd go down to the corners and I'd watch every and I'd try to mimic my driving style. So yes, this story. They used to at Thunder Valley. They would have a Thunder 100 at the end of the fall, big late model race. I don't know what they pay, but I mean Moyer, all these guys was in there. Fry, um,
Yeah,
I was
Wallace, probably all those guys.
yeah, I was running late model, modified, and so took a late model in there and qualified through the A main through the B. Then I put too hard of a tire on the right rear. I'm the first one to get lapped. Moyer and Fry. Like they lap me. I'm like, all right, well, if I'm gonna watch the race, I'm gonna go watch the race, you know, because all I was getting was start money. So I pull her in, you know, watch the 100 lapper there, or what was left of it. I may have got lapped on lap 20. Um, Go to Sylum the next night. Sylum was paying 1,000 win late mile, and we've been winning every week there. We had a really good tire combination figured out there, and pull in the pits. Damn for what more you're sitting there, and I was really thought, man, I'll get that 1,000 bucks, and I'm like, oh, pass him in hot laps. And I'm like, oh, he's just goofing around. Uh, Outrun him in the heat race, and I'm like, he just met, you know, he just
Yeah.
more he's just testing stuff. By the end of the race, we went green, white, checkered. Moyer run third. I was a half a straightaway away from putting him a lap down.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah, I was like, I
That's
mean, so I go from getting lapped the night before to like almost putting him a lap down. So Bill calls me Monday, and he's like, man, I heard you outrun Moyer, and I was like, yeah. And he's like, what? Man, we come onto a right rear tire, and it's actually I don't know, McQuarrie American Race or whatever they was. And he's like, well, what was it? It's like a MD 53 or something. I said it worked. I said I put it on that Thunder Valley and that black clay. It didn't work, but it works really good on that red clay. It's got a little bit of rock. I said once it fires off, it'll go. Bill won at it was the last Tampa race at the end of the year. Big high bank track in Georgia. Anyway, Bill won it, so I called him up. I said, Bill, what? He said, I put that tire on the
no
right.
joke.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I can't, Dixie. I think it's Dixie Speedway. Yeah, was where the Habitampa used to end back then, which Habitampa is now Lucas Oil, you know. So yeah,
See, I did not know that. Is that right?
yeah,
Is that what Lucas
yep,
Oil is?
yep, yeah.
Okay.
That Habitampa and then it's sold, and yeah. So
I did not know that. I didn't know
yeah,
that's where that came from. I wonder what happened because it did we not have some like have a tamper or two like over here back in the day, like at West Plains maybe or somewhere?
probably because I remember going down just one weekend. I had a weekend off that I wasn't racing for the other, you know, whoever I was driving for at the time. And I went down with Gene Border. Gene used to own Arklatex Speedway, and we went and ran the modified portion at Chatham, Louisiana, and Habitampa was there. You know, so the biggest reason I wanted to go down was just watch the late model. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I remember going around watching all the MLRA when they first started,
hmm,
all
yeah,
around here, and that man,
yeah,
it's like I tell people, I saw some of the best racing you could ever see, and I
yeah.
didn't realize what
Oh
I
yeah.
was watching. At Flipping Speed or Flipping at North Central Arkansas. I've watched some of the
Bill
amazing
Fryer, Bill Fryer
historic.
cut his teeth on those walls. You know, he used to
Yeah,
live right down the road.
yeah. So I mean, that was it's just amazing that got to see that, and like I said, I didn't realize what I was watching. So
Yeah, I'll tell you another story. I, I told you we could go on because when I get to telling our one will remember. Um, we go into Chatham and they're so overwhelmed with the car count. They were IMCA modified sanctioned, so you get your motor claim. And I'm driving one of Gene's cars, not none of my motors, nothing. Well, we roll through there and they don't ask for our license or anything. We're just signing in. And I had a little rivalry with a guy, Ron Jones from Minnesota, and I mean, it wasn't nothing big, but I mean, we're friends today. Um, and I was like, and I do some ornery stuff like this, at different times. So I signed in as Ron Jones from Bemidji, Minnesota. That's really where he's from, but I just signed in.
yeah.
Didn't really think another word about it, and I'm on the front straightaway. I wanted the modified portion, and they're like, "So, Ron, what brought you all the way down from Minnesota?" And I'm like, "What?" And then I'm like, "Oh." And well, my friend Gene Border asked me to come down and hang out with him for a weekend. So back then, you don't have internet or nothing, and they had these newspapers, like
Yeah,
mid-state
I
radio
remember.
papers and
Yeah.
stuff and sure as shit, open one up, and there it is. I'm standing there, Ron Jones. The next time I see Ron, boy, he's like, "You son of a," yeah,
Oh man.
yeah,
Oh, that's. Oh wow. Okay. Ron Jones,
yeah,
man. That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No internet back then. I do. I remember those papers. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So you
I think
probably
we
immortalized.
there
Somebody's
was
probably got that paper somewhere.
probably
Somebody's probably
so.
got that paper somewhere hanging on
Yeah,
to it, and they
yeah.
probably don't know what they have.
I wish I'd have kept some of that stuff because I mean,
There may
yeah,
be somewhere sitting around right now watching this thinking, "Hey, that's Ron Jones."
I remember Eddie when
I
they,
remember
yeah, when they didn't get his name right.
him.
But that was just because of the
Oh.
motor claim. If I'd have refused the motor claim, I wasn't gonna get penalized for it. Neither would he,
Yeah.
because he wasn't there racing. So,
Oh man. Okay, Eddie. I don't know how long we've run here. But let's keep it about 30 minutes. And oh man, we've been talking for 47 minutes, man.
about 45. I told you we could go. I mean,
That's all. Hey, I, there we can always do another one here down the road at some point. So
Bess
listen.
back here. She could tell you. She's like that with Tim, my buddy Tim. I've talked about. She's like, I just love it when you guys get together because it's just story after story after story. She said some of them I hadn't even heard before. Y'all just, we we've
Yeah.
had some good times. I mean, through the years, and I'm not done. This year will be. I started 16. This year is my 43rd year, and I'm hoping my body can hold out. My car number's 51, and I'm just hoping I can hold out till make 51 years of it before I say.
Yeah, man. I hope so, man. I mean, I want to see you run. I mean, I've never been able to see you run, so that would be awesome. I'd like to see you run sometime, and hopefully up here. And I know you said you run at Arrowhead a lot when you are. Did you say
Here,
like 1 points there or something?
oh, we was leading the points till late in the year, and
Okay,
we busted the
that's
car
right.
up there. Yeah.
That's right.
And finished second to Tate Cole. Here in a couple weeks, I got to be good friends with a guy last year, and that's a story. I got to Monette Speedway to race, and my zipper blew out of my suit, and I didn't have a suit. We're part with this guy. I got to meet him at Springfield the year before. Anyway, he has a spare suit, so he let me keep his spare suit till I got mine fixed. But he hit me up. He lost his dad here back in the spring, and he's like, "Hey, you gonna come and run one of my cars at Airhead, here in 2 3 weeks?" So hopefully he has a B mod, a Midwest mod, so hopefully it's his B mod because I think Midwest mod would be like driving a pure stock or something. But I mean to look down at things, but when you drive a 900 horsepower late model and 700 horsepower,
Yeah.
but they
So
but we might do that here in a
you
couple.
might do that.
Yeah, and I'll text you, let you know. So
Do that
yeah,
because I'd like to come up. I've been trying to get those Arrowhead guys to let me come in there and do it behind the scene, but they don't ever call me back. I don't know if it's because they think I'm going to come live stream, which I don't do. If I come to a track, I'm not live streaming their stuff.
yeah,
But whoever the race director is there, I've talked to him a few times, and he's always like, "Well, you're on the list."
yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Well,
okay. Well,
and
in
I
the
think
meantime, I'm going to Monette 2 or 3 times. I'll love
yeah.
that track. Those people are as friendly as they
I
can
love
be.
Monet. Yeah, I won a point championship there in I believe it was 2001. Yeah, well, with the
Yeah, I love it.
model.
I'm gonna go up there Friday. I don't know if you watch the show, but I had that 13-year-old uh uh kid, Colton Brown, come on the show. He's fixing to move into from a front wheel drive to a modified, and he's got Ken Essery and Justin Wells behind him. Uh,
So he's got
they
he
they
got some
apparent
good help there. Yeah,
I mean, I hear he's pretty good, and that kid's serious. I mean,
yeah,
he's serious. He knows his stuff. So I want to
yeah.
go watch him race and see what it's.
Well,
So he's racing his front
and
wheel drive up there at Monette
and
Friday. So I'm going to go up there and check that out.
yeah. It'd be good. Andy needs to get to the track, and I think it'd be real good. Get Beth out, a night and it's close, So
Yeah,
I think it'd be a good deal.
yeah.
Be fun anyway for everybody.
Well, Eddie, let's do a
Uh,
part two, man. Because I mean, I want to ask you a lot of different stuff, but this YouTube stuff, if you go like real long, you know what I mean. It's
yeah.
going to take me a while to edit this. So I'm going to put a bunch of pictures in here. So
Well,
I'm going to
now
try to have it out. I'm going to try to have it out by 11 in the morning, but we'll see.
now you'll probably hear more stories now that we've done this.
I'm ready for it, man. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to thank you for coming on. I'm going to end this recording. You hang out with me. You don't have to go anywhere yet. I'm just going to end the recordings. But thank you for coming on, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Skip.